Hi everyone. Welcome. This is my first class on YouTube, so let's hope it works. I just need to quickly find my video on Facebook just to make sure we're definitely going live because I've had a few problems in the past. Oh, we are live. It's going well. I'm still getting used to creating with headphones. Heads up. Because my phone is dying because of the lives, but it's okay. We just have to keep moving the cords in and out. Oh, good morning, Jason. Jason and I have been chatting this week. As requested on in the Creative Family group, I'm going to be using stencil scraps and tissue paper. I didn't really understand Deborah's comment until I opened my retreat kit this morning, and I was like, oh my gosh, the tissue paper. It is absolutely beautiful. My parents did tell me about it, but it kind of got submerged in my brain under very many levels because that's what happens. Good morning, Beck. Good morning, Faina. Right, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So the stencil I'm using, OE3 plus this one. It's an oldie but a goodie. You always need like something like a chevron. And I've got a few scraps here. So I've got some tissue paper from the package my father sent me with my retreat kit in it. So notes that I wrote. I have no idea what this was about, but it's like on top of my art pile. There's some notes from something and some fussy cut scraps, a doily. Oh, and this little white cutout that I didn't use from the last retreat, so we're going to use it this class as like a stencil. Oh, morning, Sandy. Morning, Deborah. Raining here, so not going to footy. Fair enough. Yeah, I went for a pool swim this morning, and when I walked to the pool on Saturday mornings, and it wasn't raining when I left home. When I walked back from the pool, it was raining, and I was like, oh, I probably should have driven. Morning, Pam. Morning, Donna. Hope everyone's having a good morning. So we're gonna start, and I know normally I start with sticking the collage down and then doing the stenciling. We're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna do the stenciling, then the collage, because yeah, I want to try something different. That's pretty much my reasoning. Does anyone have any colors they would like me to use? This is also on Facebook, so on YouTube. So if your Facebook doesn't work very well, I know some people have like those weeks where their Facebook just decides to spaz. You can just go on YouTube. It's all good because this is the first class we're doing it on. I'm a little bit scared. Hello, Marlene. Hello, Sandy. Raining here also. Yeah. Perfect day for creating, rain. See, it knew it was the retreat. That's why it's raining. Just knew it. Right, here we go. So let's see. What colors are we going to paint with today? I just got to grab a sponge real quick. I'm running out of, like, you know how you have good sponges and then you've got the sponges that kind of turn into concrete because you've used them that much? This is one of those like concrete sponges. I never get around to washing them out on time, so it's like full on. It's not even a sponge anymore, that one. So I'm just going for a bit of a dig, trying to find a sponge that I haven't destroyed yet. By the looks of it, I've only got these weird ones. They don't work very well on intricate patterns, but they will do for today. Oh, hello, Desley. Right. Let's put out my paint palette. And also, everyone notice? Clean piece of paper. You can see what I'm doing. I changed the sheet over this morning. I was like, oh my gosh. It really is clean. It was one of those miracle moments going, I wonder what happens when I clean my area. Oh, hi, Elise. Oh, hi, Kathy. Oh my gosh, yeah. You said it was your son's 21st? I hope he has a really good one. Hi, Patricia. I mean, Trish, sorry. God, really says how the morning's going already. Yeah. I kind of arrived late to the pool as well this morning, so I was in the pool when all the kids started arriving for their swim classes. Don't get me wrong, I like kids. Like, I have a little sister, but the swimming mums, gosh, oh my gosh, just a whole new level of just they looked at me like I was some weirdo going for a swim on a Saturday. To be fair, I was wearing shorts over top of my swimmers when I walked in that had paint all over them. So, and they were also a little bit holy in one of the legs. So they probably weren't staring at me because I was a weirdo. More like because my clothing was just a little bit, Dodgerama. Oh, raining in the Gold Coast as well. It seems to be raining everywhere. Oh, hi, Di. Right. Here we go. So time for some stenciling. So we're just going to grab our sponge, which isn't very sponge-like. It's more of like a little... I think this is like a makeup thing. I wouldn't know. Someone probably gave it to me for makeup, and I'm using it for art. Can never find it. Tiny offers overrated. Can never find anything. So true. So true, Marlene. Cannot relate any more than that. I'm still trying to find where I put half my stamps for the last time I cleaned up. I was like, I'm going to put these stamps here, and I'm going to separate these stamps here, because I was sick of tired of, like, going into, like, this one tub for all my stamps and stencils. I was like, I only use these for this stuff and that for that. So I was like, I'll just separate them, and I can't find one of the piles, and it's killing me. Because I've created a lot since then, and I'm like, I just need my stencils and my steps. I will find them, though. I will. It will just take me a very long time. So we're just going to start off, and I'm using a sponge because, for all of you who don't know, I'm heavy-handed and uncoordinated is the best way to describe my skills. So I just use a sponge with a little bit of paint on it, like not too much. It's not caked over toply. It's just a little bit, and I'm going in, and like I probably should have started with the lighter colors first, but starting with the darkest, because you're supposed to go like from like light to dark with painting. It's gonna break a few rules to start off the day. Woo! Just shows how much attention I was paying when I chose the color palette. Oh, good morning, Michelle. I've put things. Yes, I never understood the concept of labeling everything. It's just like, if you're putting it away, surely you would know where you've put it. No, things do need to be labeled. However, I did manage to find the scissors that I lost from the last time I cleaned up. They were in the bathroom. I have no idea how they ended up there. And then I managed to also find my heat tool and ended up in the scraps bucket. But, like, that's not the first time. my heat tool had ended up in the scraps bucket. My heat tool goes missing on a regular basis, and it's because like my scraps bucket sits right, like just that way, and my heat tool sits here, like always. So I'll just, if I knock it, it's gonna fall straight into it, and I close it after the weekend, so it just gets like lost for a whole few days until I open my scraps bucket up again. And that's if I remember to take it out before I put more stuff in there. Oh, smart move, Di. Clear storage. Very smart move. Right, here we go. So it doesn't matter if it's too... Oh. There you go. So we got a little bit of that one on. That's where I found my missing dice. Try looking where it should be. Oh my gosh. Oh. Hello, Father. Our scribe has arrived. Only a little bit late. Just a tinty little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, Sandy, it ends up in the scraps bucket so many times. When I go looking for my heat tool now, it's the first place I look for it because more than likely it's fallen in. And I'm not changing the setup of my art area just for my heat tool because it's gotten to a point where I can keep it kind of a little bit organized while creating. And when I have friends over, I'm just able to like put a sheet over the desk because, you know, that's what I do. Like my older brother's old couch is behind me, so it like holds all the works in progress. It doesn't have paint on it, surprisingly. And if it does, it has less than most of my clothing items, which is quite amazing because it holds a lot of wet artworks. Me too. Have to do more labeling as I spent half my day looking for things as I'm rearranging things. Oh my gosh, I do. Oh, shivers. Sorry. How do you do the branding in the top right corner? Didn't even know that was a thing. Look, we should all just be happy that I figured out how to put YouTube. It took me a week to get my YouTube and StreamYard to link up, by the way. A week. I have never been more glad of something being over. Like, and I use Photoshop every day of the week pretty much. Yeah, so this is Jane Davenport's Burgundy. Mott has a very similar color to it. So I actually ran out of my Mott tube and I managed to find this one, my Jane Davenport one. I don't know if I really like Jane Davenport's paints. Like, they're really good quality, don't get me wrong, but look how small the tube is. Like, it's like once you get used to the color and you come up with ideas on how to use it, you're out of paint. It can get really annoying. So we're just coming around and we're doing this one. Sorry you can hear like everything on my desk bouncing. I am trying to be light-handed. but like there's trying and actually being light-handed, two entirely different things, and I don't think I've been successful at any of them. Right, so here we go. So we just want to try and get not a lot of coverage, but a little bit, because our scraps is going to cover some things. This is just base layer work, so then we can kind of mix and mingle the two layers together, and it doesn't look like we've just stuck collage down and then put stencils over top because we're like, oh, we need to combine all the collage together. It's kind of like making, what's the word? Like smushing it together, I guess. That's not the word I was looking for, by the way, but when I figure out which word I was supposed to use, I'll let you know. I will let you know. Right, so then we got this one here. I think we might do this in the yellow. So we probably should have started off with the yellow first because it's the lightest color. Like I said, normally when doing stenciling, you start off your lightest paint color and you work your way through to your darkest one that you want to use. Just so then, like it looks balanced. Obviously, when you're putting a light color over a dark color, the dark color is still going to really overpower it. So if you do start off with your darkest color first, like I did with the purple, just be wary not to go overkill with the first stencil, because trying to limit how much that covers can be a little bit difficult. So yeah. And we're just sticking to clusters of 2 to 3 of each stencil, so to 3 different spots. Oh, you can really feel the jumping. I'm so sorry. I think it's also because my pad underneath has gotten quite thin. Right, there we go. That's what was the problem. I remember the first place I put things is when I move them up. Yeah. I can't remember what stuff is. Right, see, oh, and then our last one, and then we're going to do our collage. So this is actually looking pretty good already. I was a little bit worried by doing the purple first. But it's looking pretty good. I know I shouldn't act surprised, but it's surprising. And then we're just going to go with our lime green. Now, the good thing about the Delusions metallics, I think they're called, or they might be called something else, shimmer paints, is they're actually quite opaque. So anything underneath, as long as you have a thick enough coating, you'll be able to go over any color. So that's why I'm able to go over that purple. And also like the burgundy and stuff like that. It does make it a little bit difficult when you're trying to mix it with other brands of paint like Montmartre and Golden, because it won't play the game in making gradients, but unless you're using other shimmer paints. However, like there are tricks, just add some water to it, do a bit of a playing thing. Okay, so we're just going to come in. You can kind of see where that lotus flower was, which is excellent. And then what we might come and do is, before we add a little bit too much, too many, let me get English. any more paint, we might just come in and do a few fine details. So just with our purple, because we've already got purple here. Sorry, I just got to activate my purple paint pen again because it's been abused a little bit by me. I'm just going to come in and do like a few circles. And this is just to link the really dark purple with the lighter colors. So it's not like you're adding a whole nother color. It's just that you're adding like another tone. And so then the yellow doesn't seem so vibrant, like it's blinding you. Like it looks great, but I don't wish for people's eyes to hurt when they see my art. So just gonna add in some balance. Actually, I've had this paint pen for over a year now, so the fact that it's still able to do like its job pretty much means that it's a really good product. Okay, and oh. I'm just gonna put this one down here. Ooh, kind of liked a bit extra paint there. Right, now that we've got that there, just gonna grab our paintbrush because it's linked a little bit. Just gonna spread that out. I'm just gonna spread that out because I don't want to wait a million years for it to dry. Actually went a really long way, so we might just do that over here to this one as well. Oh. Now, if you do it in one spot, you kind of got to do it in a few others, then it doesn't seem like a random moment. This paint goes a really long way. I know this is like completely off what the plan was, but sometimes you just got to go with the flow. There we go. Sorry. Oh, thanks, Trish. Go. Right, so now we've got that. I think it's time for us to start sticking our scraps on. So this is our stenciling so far and our doodling. I think it's time for us to start, nearly actually. Sorry, I'm going to take that back for just a quick second. I'm just going to do like some fake writing. If you're really good at writing poetry, like, honestly, I envy you, because the amount of times I would love to write just, I don't know, poetry or some type of verse on my artworks. It's phenomenal, but English is not my forte, so I stick to painting. Here we go, and then put that in a few areas and just here we go. Let's start, shall we? With our scraps. So the point is not to get too attached to whatever you do. I know, I don't know if I really want to stick the scraps down now. Be alright. I think. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, you know. If we do that, we do that one. What was over this side? Oh, we had. Oh, like I could pin it to my singlet. Because, yeah, I know. That might be an actual idea, hey, pinning it to my clothing. I might try that next week, Yvonne. Thank you for the suggestion, because they just swing in and out, and I know it gets really annoying. And it's what we must do, so then it doesn't sound like I'm crackling up every 5 minutes or so. Right. Yoink. And then let's glue this down, shall we? Just trying to find my gel medium. Here we go. And just because we've done stenciling already down, I'm going to stick it down with some modeling paste just because my stenciling's still wet and it's quite, because it's raining. It means that if I stick it down with gel medium, there is a chance I'm going to get air bubbles. And like, it's just one of those things where you just do it, I guess, with the headphones. You learn to live through it. But yeah, so I'm going to use a modeling paste to stick down the collage just because, like I said, it's a rainy day. And even if I use gel medium matte, because the page is already wet, it might get some air bubbles in it and it won't stick down fully. And I've had to go back through in the last week and stick down some of my art journal pages from what I taught last year because we did it during wet weather or I didn't put enough glue on or something like that. And after a week of coming home from work and like using a craft knife to slide open like a collage layer and then slot glue in and then stick it down and try and like patch it back up, I'm not doing it again. So we're using model and paste to be definite on this one. So here we go. So we're just going to come in, put a little bit down, and then the modeling paste. We just need to be. You just need to be 100% sure where you put the modeling paste because it's not going to dry clear. It dries white and very white. So you just want to come in and just be 100% definite of where the tissue paper is going down. And just really get into it and then yep. That's that. Ooh. Okay, so now we've got that one. They're stuck down and I'm just blending out the modeling paste that does come over the gaps just by smushing it out a little bit. I'll show you so then it looks like it's part of the stencil layer. It's going to save us a lot more effort very soon. And then just come in and stick down the doily. I would normally stick it down with gel medium matte. It's just that my art journal page has a lot of thick acrylic paint on it and it's a very rainy day. Like it's overcast. I'm also a little bit scared of my artworks going moldy because I had an artwork go moldy in the last week, and it brings your confidence level just a little bit down when an artwork goes moldy. Modeling paste, yes, it can be used as a glue. Most people use it as something to get dimension when they do stenciling with a palette knife, or as like a thickener for paint to make like a normal paint, like a heavy body paint, or more opaque. But yeah, you can use it as a glue. You can also use gesso as a glue if necessary, but like I'm always running out of white paint first, so the likelihood of me using gesso as an alternative to glue is highly unlikely. Because, yeah. Why would I use the thing that I'm going to run out first with as an alternative? So there we go. And then, so yeah, the modeling paste is normally, it goes moldy because when I make like my really big works, like my works that are more than A3, when I make them with lots of collage layers, there's a lot of glue that goes on them first, and then I stick them in the bathroom, which is a damp place, and I leave them to dry on the tiles, which keeps the damp in them. And then when it doesn't dry for the first few hours, I stick it out in the sun, and the sunlight activates something and it goes moldy. Anyway, yeah, it happens rarely. It's because it had a lot of glue on it, like at least an inch of glue. So it's about this big of a work, and like the collage went like that high off of it. Like it became and it was on cardboard. So cardboard's never supposed to have that much glue on it. It was too damp. And yeah, it went moldy. Just mixed with the fact that I also couldn't wait for it to dry, so I put alcohol ink on top of it to like accent the details, which looks really cool, but no. There are limits. I promised myself in my first year of uni, when I had 40 phone books going moldy, that I would never create with mold again. So, and I don't plan to. It just happens once around about every 3 months. So, kind of just live with it. It makes great dinner like great Christmas stories. Like, those ones that you share around the table and people are like, oh, like having a good laugh at it. Yeah, I have plenty of those. All right, so I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to spread some modeling paste in a few areas, just so that it doesn't seem like the stuff that's coming out of the collage layers is just because it was used as glue. To make Naomi approach to hold that lead up. Yeah, I'm going to pin it to my closer next week. I just don't have a pin around. I have a needle, but I don't want to accidentally like draw blood on alive. Plus, this is going to YouTube, so I'm trying not to swear this week. Some weeks I like let out a little bit, and it's like, I'm really trying really hard. Because I can swear like a sailor. It happens a few times. Not many. Maybe more than a few. But it happens, so Well, that's okay, Elise. Have a good weekend. Okay, so now that we've got our collage down, we just need to go in and add our stenciling a little bit on top. But as you can see, stenciling it down first definitely helped because we weren't having to go over top of the layers or try and remove anything. And by us blending out the modeling paste and like pushing this tissue paper to the consistency where it does tear just a little bit, means that it actually blends in with our stenciling really well, like this, even with it being like different colors. And that's why I use tissue paper as well, because it becomes see-through when any medium is applied to it. So it's really good for that. And I forgot that I had wet modeling paste down there, so I have it on my palm now. Nothing new. Right. So let's see. So we just need to add, I think, a little bit of, I'm trying to see, because it needs like a little bit of something. I'm just going to grab some of this modeling paste and put it there. There we go. I think it just needs a little bit of flicking. Like, I don't think it needs anything else but a little bit of flicking maybe, and that's it. Like, anyone got a color that they prefer to have the flick in? I don't know. I don't think it should be purple because the purple's a little bit dark. Maybe the burgundy? Like, it could be white, but then if we do white, we might have to go back in and do shadowing. Maybe let's go with the burgundy, hey? Let's see. Flick the green. Actually, you're probably right. The green's the less amount. 1 minute. Let's see. So we're just going to get like a good coating and just add some water. So make sure you've got, like, you know, something covering your white walls. I have like a really disgusting coloured tablecloth there. It's plastic. I've had it since first year of uni. Okay, right, so here we go. Then we just flick it on so that it goes a little bit everywhere. And what we can do is we can grab a piece of paper towel, and anything that landed somewhere where you don't want it, you can just come in, take a little bit off. I do think that I want just a few in the burgundy as well. Not many. Just a few, just a bit of burgundy there. Just let it spread. Okay. And then so then the green dots kind of move with their own accordance. We're just going to grab our spray bottle. We just need to check that this doesn't have any Wendy's mist in it. Okay, no, it's clean. Sorry. I sometimes decant my Lindy's mists into my big spray bottle. It makes it so much easier. Right, and this just makes sure that it doesn't, like, they're not perfect dots. What we can do is we can come in and just right, and I think it's done it. So I'll lift it up for you so you can see where we flicked the dots and like the little bit of burgundy flicks. Because we did them with a smaller paintbrush, they are smaller, which means that they're not as easy to see, but they do blend out really nicely. So that's today's class. Thank you all for coming. Anyone who's in the retreat, I will be teaching at 2 p.m. this afternoon in the retreat group. We will be using the tissue paper. I have no idea what else we're using or what we're creating it. That's being planned after this. But thank you all for coming to today's live. This will be up on YouTube and the Creative Family group once it loads. And I feel like I'm forgetting to tell you guys something. There's like a whole list I have to tell you, but I can't remember. But thank you all for coming. I shall see you all next week at 9:30 again. And have a great week. Bye.